Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kathleen Prokop. I'm a student at GCU, Grand Canyon University, a university in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a online student, and my program is Bachelor of Science in Finance and Economics. Today, I shall try to explain chapter 10. So the title of chapter 10 for Finance 350 for GCU is Bonds and Stocks, Characteristics and Valuables. So we're going to go to 10.1. Long-term external financing sources for business. So basically, the long-term funds, they're obtained by issuing corporate bonds and stocks. So long-term could either be bonds or stocks. In recent years, a total of new corporate security issues amounted to more than 2,600 billion in 2006, but declined to about 1,000 billion in each year from 2008 to 2011 due to steep recession and financial market anxiety. So what does that mean? A new total corporate security issues amounted to more than 2,600 billion in 2006. Now, usually a bonds, or for that matter, stock, future value is basically standard 1,000. In this instance, the present value with a given future value, coupon discount, payment, payment time, and period of payment, depending whether either you have a year to maturity, you would be able to calculate the present value, and you would know exactly the present value of what you're going to be issued, a future value of 1,000. So in bonds, the payment is usually semi-annually, and in stocks, it's usually quarterly. Okay, so what else is there? So now we're going to go to bonds. A bond is an agreement or contract between lenders, that is the investor, and the borrower, that's the company, organization, whereas the borrower is looking to get external finance for its organization by going to a lender and issuing them, and you are being issued a bond, or you issue them a bond, I forgot. Well, it says typically a firm or government body, such as the lender or bondholder of a corporation, have certain rights and privileges not enjoyed by the firm's owner. The debt holder, which would be the borrower, may force the firm to abide by the terms of the debt contract, even if the result is reorganization or bankruptcy of the firm. So, the debtor, the borrower, and the investor, the lender. The investor would lend the borrower uh, and the borrower will pay, is it the interest to the lender? I think that's what that is. And that's how that goes. So the common elements of the bond is represent borrowed funds. That's why the borrower will receive the loan for external funding. Contractual agreement, indenture between the borrower and lender. An indenture is like a covenant where there is a trustee that would probably guide and it would interpret what's in the covenant or what's referred to as interest rates, future value, and all those stuff. So that is how it is done. Why can't I find it here? It's missing. The senior claim on assets and cash flow. No voting rights. Cash flow is another name for, I do believe, face value. Par value, which is basically in general 1,000. Having a bond rating improves the issues marketable to investors. That means you would hire something like Fitch or S&P, and they would similar to make analysis of the credibility of the borrower so that the lender will either take a risk to lend the borrower, see whether the borrower would be able to pay the interest until the bond matures. Then having a bond rating improves the issuers marketable to investors. The covenant, so that would be the contractual indenture. And the interest is tax deductible to the issuing firm. So the issuing firm would be the lender, and it would be tax deductible. So I do believe in those cases it would be an expense, right? And they would have accounts receivable or accrual interest in accounting. And they will usually fix over the issue's life but can be variable if the indenture allows coupon rate to be affected by market interest rates and or bond rating. So the maturity usually fixed can be affected by convertibility, call and put provision, sinking fund, and extendability features of the indenture. Security can have senior claim to specific assets pledged in case of default or can be unsecured debenture or subordinated junior claim debenture. The bondholder have legal status as creditors, not owners of the firm. As such, they have priority claim on the firm's cash flow and asset. This means the bondholder must receive their interest payments, so bondholder then would be the lender, before the firm's owners receive their dividends. In the case of bankruptcy, the debt holder must receive the funds owed to them before funds are distributed to the firm's owners. Because of this first claim on a firm's cash flow and assets, debt is a less risky investment than equity. So how do we go ahead and calculate it? For example, you want a face value. How much would be the present value? Which, of course, the present value would be used for trading. So in here then, we would use our Excel to say we would put the equal sign or equal sign, and then we would, not yet. Okay, what we do is not yet. We would put, it just say start in B2. B2, we would put a, what you call, can't be seen, huh? We would put in there what you call where's P there? Present value. We'll go down. And then future value. And you would put your rate. And you would put your payment. And you would put now your time period. which is could be N P E R, and then you would put type, which is usually for the ending would be 0 and the beginning would be 1. So here they are. Can you see that? It's not seen. So now if you have a problem, let's just say you are looking for the present value and the future value is 50,000. You would use the equal sign and you would put minus you put a minus in there, so the present value would be positive, and you would put PV and then you go right ahead and put parentheses and you would put rate. Oh, but we didn't put the rate yet, did we? Okie dokie. So the future value is 50,000. The rate is coupon rate is 0.06, which is 6%. The payment, 0.06. The payment is 0. When it's a 0, it's a 0 payment. Now, the time period is 5 years, and the type would be 0. So you would go in here and you would put equal sign and you would go minus, right? You would go minus present value and then you would go parenthesis and you would do the rate and you would do your comma and then you would do your period, the NPR, would do a comma, and then the payment, comma, then you would put the future value, comma, and the type would be 0. You would close parenthesis and you would enter. Oh, we did it wrong. I don't know how to use the laptop, iPad. So that would be the formula for it. And the answer you would get 37,362.91. Now, so that would be solving the required annuity payment to accrue the same amount of money as the lump sum problem for both. So you would need to come up with $37,000, 362.91. That would be the required annuity. So that would be finding the future value, present value of annual compounding. You would do the same thing if you're looking for the face value, but this time instead of using the minus PV, you would be using minus FE and just go ahead and fill it up. Because you would find in there, just follow the instruction if you have a PC. Now I don't know why this one did that. So let me just go ahead and do it again. Equal PV minus PV parenthesis then rate NPR payment future value and 0 and enter. Too few arguments for this function. Let's try again. So we're going to use the rate. Then we're going to use the NPR. We're going to use the rate, NPR. We're going to use the rate. We're going to use the rate, comma, NPR, comma, payment, comma, future value, comma, the type is 0. And you will go ahead and enter. Yeah, it come out to be 37,260.91. So that's how you would do that. Okay? So you need to print instructor, see a doctor? I forgot. Daniel Schaefer. And it's found in discussion 5.1. And you would click on, I do believe it says bond or something like that. So that's how you would do that. Now, where's Mother Chi-Chi? Bond study guide. Bond, I do believe you have year to maturity. That would be the difference. Year to maturity means it's by the time you earn all the interest, it comes out to 11.30%. And the time is 6 years. Now on this one, what you need to do, I hope I get it right. You need to put year to maturity. Then you have your par, which is the value of the share. Then you have your coupon. Then you have the NPER. So if your year to maturity is, let me see, 10.30% is 0.1130. Then the par is always $1,000, 1,000 share. And the coupon for 10% is 0.10. And the NPR is 6 years. Would be price value if you have a year to term. So now for the year to term, you need to put equal sign and you put PD minus PD close parenthesis, then you would do the year to maturity, comma, then you would use the time, which is the NPR, comma, then you would do the coupon times the par, period, then you have the par and then I lost, there we go. The par, comma, and you have the 0, which is the annuity return, and it says you need 945.48 PB. So that at the end of 5 years, with a given coupon, you would get $50,000. Now, is that good? I do believe it is, because need to find, for example, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this right, but for you to find out whether it's good or not, you need to find the EPS. So the price, the PE, and the price of stock. So in this instance, I I forgot how to do this. But you would only know this if you have, like in the book, it has the sample and the Microsoft. Then you would be able to find out the annual EPS. Earning per share? Oh, earning per share or price earning is the PE. How am I doing? So now let's go to we did that already then. We need the bond and the stocks. That's basically much what it is, but of course it's harder in the homework, and it's hard. Actually, the homework was hard. But if you know that basically and you read the book, if you fully understand and if you're working, you are able to figure it out. I don't go to work, so I had a hard time trying to figure out. Let me see, I'll try to do the EPS. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll do that. We'll go to the Microsoft. The Microsoft sample. Don't know, maybe you already know about the Microsoft sample. Now, the characteristics of common stocks is that the common stock characteristic is represent common element. Oh, common element of bonds represent an ownership claim. There's a board of directors and they oversee the firm on behalf of the shareholders and enforces the corporate charter. Voting rights for board members, lowest claim on assets and cash flow, par value is meaningless, and many firms have low or no par stock. Dividends received only if declared by the firm's board, paid out from after-tax earning. So, paid out from after-tax earning. And cash flow, not tax deductible, so it's not considered as expense. Or earning. So dividends are taxable when received by the shareholder. So when the dividend shareholder receive, then they would be taxable. Meaning to say you need to pay taxes on it now when it is paid out. But when it's not paid out, then I suppose that's considered as the income, I suppose so. Because if you have a CD or IRA, if it's that kind of idea, then unless you withdraw from your interest earned, then before a particular age, you don't have, you need to pay for your interest tax. For example, if you're age 59, then you don't have to pay the penalty, but you need to pay for tax. But once you retire of 70, then you don't have to pay taxes on the dividend of a CD. And the element of preferred stock, it does not represent ownership, no voting rights unless dividends are missed. Claims on asset and cash flow lies between those of bondholders, specifically subordinate debenture holders and common shareholders. Par value is meaningful as it uh, determines the fixed annual dividend. The reason why in common shareholder the par value is meaningless, that is because they're not, they get the share after the preferred stock are paid. So if there's anything left over, then you would get payment. Since they're not the investor, I suppose that's why the par value is meaningless. I suppose. Okay, so here we have a Microsoft. The NASDAQ market is the digital. It doesn't have a physical, it would be online. And the 52-week range, 37.72 and 54.07, that would be a whole year. 52 weeks is 1 year. The last trade is $2.87. And the volume is 1,000 shares of 135,227. So actually, there are 135,227 volume, and the price earning is 35.72, and the dividend is 1.22, and the dividend yield is 2.72. So now we're going to do, you want me to do this one? How to do the dividend payout ratio? You need to get the dividend divided by the EPS. The EPS is you get the price of stock, which is 52.87, and then you divide it by the price earning, which is 35.72. Then you come out with the EPS $1.48. You would divide that from the dividend, then you would get your percent, right? So that's what I was looking for before. It didn't say stocks payment. I couldn't understand it. So, other vocabulary here. Stock split. Need me to talk about stock split? Try. I don't think there's a tax split in the homework. A tax split has a similar effect. The firms distribute extra share for every share owned in a stock split. That means instead of claiming their dividend, they would reinvest it. Oh, that's a drip. You may see net effect doubling the effect of doubling the number of shares. For example, a firm may announce a 2-for-1 stock split. Oh yeah, that's not. The drip is the one that if you're the one to claim your dividend, then you can reinvest it and your share will go up or go down. So you need the stock price and the dividends. You will divide that. You divide the stock price from the dividend, then you will get the share of the firm's stock. You may notice that if the stock price is greater than the dividend, then the share price is less than when the stock price is less than the dividend, which the share of stock is greater. And that wouldn't be a dollar value anymore, would be a percent. Stock split will the stock split. I guess that's all for now. That's been required me to do. Because I understand simple things are hard to understand sometimes if you are very expert and you need to go down to the level of the base. Okay, thank you so much. You have a good day. Good night. Bye-bye.